Terence Crawford versus Shawn Porter appears to be done. I made a video about it. But we got to talk about, y'all must have forgot, we got to talk about some of the things that were said beforehand regarding Terence Crawford. He said he was avoided and nobody wanted to fight him, sides of the street, yada, yada, yada. I'm going to talk about all that more in this video. You don't want to miss this one. Stay tuned. Yo, what up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys throw a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. If you enjoy the content and what I'm doing, I'm gonna close the year strong on the channel. Now, a fight was just announced: Shawn Porter, Terence Crawford. I made a previous video about that, so you guys gotta subscribe and watch that other video. I might even put a card. Just depends on how I feel, but I might put a card at the end of this video. Now, Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter. I have no problems. I almost said it in Spanish. I don't know why. I have no problems with the fight. I think it's a great fight, welterweight fight, WBO. But I got to address the elephant in the room, and I'm going to do that in this video. So for starters, you guys will see there's a boxing reporter, Keith Idec. He says PBC informed Top Rank before the initial purse was postponed that they were not interested in a joint pay-per-view venture for Crawford Porter. That remained true throughout the negotiating process, as Fox isn't involved at all in their fight November 20th. This is strictly an ESPN Plus pay-per-view show. So what does this mean? A lot of people feel different things. I want to tell you kind of some of my thoughts. And I really believe that despite this fight being a good fight, there was a lot of misconceptions about the fight. Would it happen? Could it happen? Sides of the street, different things like that. And at the end of the day, Terence Crawford made some statements that I don't believe were true, and his team, they were saying stuff to the effect of nobody wants to fight him. But then Bomac did an interview on TBV, and he said they don't want to fight Keith Thurman because he ain't got no damn belt. That's his words exactly. He said, Keith Thurman, he ain't got no damn belt. People just make excuses if we beat him after we beat him, like, oh, he was injured, blah, blah, blah. So there was this ongoing theme from Team Crawford and really Top Rank and old media stating that nobody on the PBC wanted to fight him. In fact, this is some previous tweets from Terence Crawford. I told you, I do my homework, I'm in the game, and I come with receipts. So this was a Twitter rant episode from Terence Crawford, and he says, people say he didn't beat nobody. He on the wrong side of the street. He not a real welterweight. Wait, tell him to get a belt first. And it says, oh, wait, y'all gonna act like I wasn't calling out these guys when I was at 140, right? And this is just a few, just to give you guys an example of what I'm referring to. More examples would be Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley was like, stop saying y'all the best. And he said, Terence Crawford, he wanted to fight everybody. He's begging. Look, Tim Bradley, Crawford is begging for the PBC fighters to face him. You guys need to put your big boy pants on and come over and make a fight with Terence Crawford because he's the best welterweight. So there was all this talk about Crawford, you know, being the boogeyman and nobody wanted to fight him and things like that. And we get the information, the WBO ordered the fight. They negotiated behind the scenes, and then the fight was relatively easily made. And this doesn't suit the agenda that was being pushed by old media. Old media was telling you that Terence Crawford is the only one seeking these fights. Terence Crawford is ducked and avoided. But how can you say that when Keith Thurman, guys like Mikey Garcia, Shawn Porter, they've said they wanted to fight Crawford? You know, they said they're open to fight Crawford, and it didn't happen. Other things that draw question in this whole scenario is you got Bob Arum, who he's on record saying that he thought that Shawn Porter was a cool fight or a good fight, but it's not a money fight. It's not worth pay-per-view. And now ESPN's putting the fight on pay-per-view. Now, I have no problem. I'm going to order the fight. I personally like the fight. I never said those previous comments that Bob Arum said. Bob Arum says that Terence Crawford is only looking for guys like Pacquiao or Errol Spence because Shawn Porter would be a good fight, but it's not a pay-per-view fight. This is what he said. So I got to make this video and revisit those statements. I know some people were like, oh, get over it, who cares? But I'm not going to get over it, because at the end of the day, people in boxing must be held accountable for what they say and do. And I'm real big on that. If I say something, I'm a man. So I stand on that 10 toes down. And I think Crawford, for whatever reason, to me, it just appears that Crawford feels that he's me against the world, or, you know, he's the odd man out and everyone's against him. But I know a lot of fans, I'm a fan, a lot of people are fans of Terence Crawford. They weren't a fan of his business moves. They weren't a fan of the decision making, you know, and it worked out for him. Shawn Porter is willing to go to another network, but a lot of people look sick and a lot of people look misinformed, because these are some of the same people that when PBC would run their own show and have a welterweight fight, let's say Errol Spence, Danny Garcia, I seen old media and they were saying, oh, but guess what? They're not showing Terence Crawford's picture. They won't mention him on the telecast. All of these old media talking points have now been shot down viciously because PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, owned by a black advisor, Al Heyman, they're sending Terence Crawford to the platform, and I just showed you that it's not a joint venture. So there's this misnomer that PBC and sides of the street and PBC is blocking the fights and they don't want to let their guys fight. But you don't see Terence Crawford or Shakur Stevenson fighting off platform. The only closest situation is maybe Teofimo Lopez, and that's because he created this fracas, and he said he wasn't fighting for low money and he's a pay-per-view star. We got J-Lo, right? And he said all these things, and that's the only reason he's fighting off platform on Triller, right? You don't see DAZN sending Demetrius Andrade to fight on another platform, or Gennady Golovkin, or whoever. You see what I'm saying? But for whatever reason, guys like Tim Bradley was like, oh, the only guy I respect is Deontay Wilder. All these other guys, Terence Crawford's begging, he's begging, and he did all this and that. And then now Shawn Porter, once they offer him something real, he stays true to his word and he's taking the fight. Now everyone's like happy, but I'm gonna make you remember what you said. I'm gonna make everybody in the game remember what they said, because a lot of people are quick to forget. A lot of people, all of a sudden, when Ego Veli starts speaking, they got selective memories. You guys said that Terence Crawford couldn't get no fights because everyone was ducking. Shawn Porter's clearly not ducking. The fight's made. That's what all the reports say. PBC just said, we're not interested in doing a joint. Either we'll do our own Crawford and bid on the purse bid, or you guys make it work and then you guys do it. Or we don't want to do another Wilder Fury. And we keep seeing this. Danny Jacobs, when he's advised by Al Heyman, he went over to HBO to fight Triple G. Amir Khan, as you see on the screen, he was with PBC and Al Heyman at the time, and he went over to HBO to fight Canelo. Now you see it, fast forward to the future. So a lot of people, what they said, oh, they don't want to put Terence Crawford on the graphics, and they don't want to mention Terence Crawford. They're sending a whole ex-champion, two-time champion, Shawn Porter, to another platform. So a lot of people, the notions and the stuff they were shoveling and pushing don't make sense. Let me know how I did in this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments section. Sign up for TubeBuddy using my link below. TubeBuddy is an awesome way to make some money on YouTube. It's a browser extension to help you level up and optimize your content. I use it every day for videos like this. You can make money too. I'm happy the fight's happening. Terence Crawford, Shawn Porter should be a good one. I'm going to support it. I'm going to cover it on the channel. I'm going to order it. But again, you guys got to remember, y'all must have forgot what you said. And I'm here to remind you. So I'll be here to talk more about it. Let me know what you guys think of these topics. And I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TUBEBUDDY and level up your channel faster.